Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. This is a B1 level ESL lesson, and today we're going to be learning ED and ING endings on adjectives, and then how to use those adjectives to talk about an emotional experience. So what are you like? So we want to match the full definitions about personality traits. So you can go ahead and pause the video, try these on your own, and then you can restart when you're ready to check your answers. So if you are shy, you feel nervous and sometimes afraid around other people. If you are patient, you are able to deal with problems and delays without becoming upset or annoyed. If you are competitive, you generally like to be more successful than other people. And if you are optimistic, you feel confident and hopeful about the future. So we're going to look at Carol, Aiden, Naomi, and Linda. And so what are they like? What are their personality traits? Who do you think is optimistic, competitive, shy, or patient? All right, so we're going to read about Carol and then answer the questions. You can pause the video and read on your own, or you can follow along as I read. I'm naturally quite shy, and I get easily embarrassed when I have to speak in front of a group of people. Just last week, I was in a meeting at work. It was very boring, and I was feeling quite tired. I wasn't really paying attention. Suddenly, the boss asked me, "What do you think, Carol?" And everybody looked at me. I had to ask him to repeat the question, and it was really embarrassing. So shy is an adjective that describes a personality trait. And in the text, there are four other adjectives: to describe how Carol felt and to describe a situation. So see if you can find them. Okay, so one would be embarrassed, and the meeting was boring. She was tired, and it was really embarrassing. So adjectives ending in ing express emotions, and we use ed adjectives to express how we feel. So the movie was boring. We felt bored. So something boring causes you to feel bored. So here are some examples. The ing adjectives. It was a boring movie. So what was it like? It was a boring movie. But then the ed adjectives, so how did it make you feel? I was so bored during my vacation. My young brother is annoying, or she's annoyed with her boss. That question was confusing. He was totally confused in the exam. That was a disappointing race. Mom was disappointed with the results. Istanbul is an exciting city. I'm excited about my trip to New York. Today was exhausting. I feel exhausted after exercising. Thunder is frightening. Michael is frightened of the dark. There was a shocking accident, and Dad was shocked by the news. So now you want to join the sentences with the correct adjective. So Jody didn't understand the question. In front of everyone, she had to ask the teacher to repeat the question. She felt uncomfortable and awkward. And Simon is working on a difficult problem. He can't find a solution. So Jody felt very embarrassed. It was an embarrassing situation for her. Simon was confused. and the problem was confusing for him. So now choose the correct adjective. Again, you can pause the video, try these on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. I feel so tired today. I feel so tired. It's been an exhausting day. There was a terrible storm last night. The kids felt very frightened. It is exciting to live in the 21st century. I feel disappointed because I came in 37th in the race. William felt shocked when he heard the bad news. That is a very interesting movie, but I'm too tired to watch it now. My boss just said that I have to work on the weekend. I'm annoyed. He always makes me laugh. He's an amusing person. So now read about Aiden and complete the text with the correct adjectives, and then you can answer the questions. I've never been a patient person. Yesterday I had to call the bank and I was on hold for 20 minutes. 20 minutes? What shocking customer service. I was so annoyed. These banks make millions of dollars every year, but they can't employ anyone to answer the phone. It's so frustrating. I'm disgusted by the way they treat their customers. So are you a patient or impatient person? And how do you feel when you've been on hold for a long time? And if you'd like, go ahead and answer those questions in the comments to generate some discussion. All right, again, you can pause the video, try this exercise on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. I've always been very competitive. A couple of years ago, I was competing in a bike race. I was in first place. I was feeling satisfied when I came around the corner too fast. My bike skidded out of control. There was blood everywhere, and I was shocked. I eventually got back on the bike. I just got back on the bike and eventually managed to win. It was absolutely exhausting, but definitely very satisfying too. So, have you ever competed in an event? And how competitive are you compared to your family and friends? And again, you can answer those questions in the comments. Now we're going to read about Linda. Everyone tells me that I'm an optimistic person. I usually look on the bright side. About 5 years ago, I lost my job. Naturally, I was surprised and a bit shocked at first. I was worried about the future, but I also saw it as an exciting opportunity to try something new. I signed up for a course in teaching English as a second language, and I found it really interesting. I've been working as an English teacher ever since. So, are you an optimistic, realistic, or pessimistic person? And again, you can post your answer in the comments. So, do you know who Narcissus was? In Greek mythology, Narcissus was a hunter who was famous for his beauty. So, do you know what the adjective narcissistic, what does it mean? The word narcissist is similar in many languages. Does it have a similar meaning in your language? All right, so you're going to read this first half of the text and answer the questions. Again, you can pause the video, read on your own, or you can follow along as I read. Well, perhaps the clearest way to explain is to look at the origin of the word. According to Greek mythology, Narcissus was a gorgeous young man who fell in love with his own reflection. Today we use the word narcissist to describe a person who is arrogant and self-centered, or a person who spends too much time on their appearance. Unfortunately, research suggests that narcissism has become more common over the last 30 years. So do you know the difference between handsome and gorgeous? What's the difference between confidence and arrogance? And in this text, which adjectives describe personality traits? The handsome and gorgeous are similar in meaning. Generally, we use handsome to apply to men and gorgeous to apply to women, but that isn't always the case. You can use both for either gender. What is the difference between confidence and arrogance? Confidence is believing in yourself. Arrogance is that same feeling but taken to an unhealthy extreme, like you believe in yourself to the point where you think you're better than other people. And so which adjectives describe personality traits? Um, so arrogant and self-centered. The two that are personality traits. Now we're going to read the next part of the text and answer the questions. Again, you can pause the video, read on your own, or follow along as I read. What do you think? Well, it's a complicated question, and you shouldn't be too worried if, for example, you like talking about yourself. Lots of people do this. It's probably not too serious if you spend a lot of time thinking about your life and your future goals either. So you're going to look at some traits of narcissism, and can you guess what they might be? Now, pause the video, choose the correct adjectives, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. You have to be the best, and you feel dissatisfied when things are not perfect. You love being the center of attention, and you always have something interesting to say. You are very assertive and self-assured, and you find it easy to manipulate people. You are very relaxed with responsibility, but you find it difficult to accept blame. It's worrying or upsetting for you when people do not respond to your posts on social media. You often make impulsive decisions if you are feeling bored or depressed. You find danger exciting, and you would do almost anything on a dare. And you feel disappointed when nobody compliments you on your appearance. So are you finding it easier now to distinguish between the ed and the ing adjectives? So here are some adjectives so that you can practice on your own. So you want to make some sentences. So for example, I was so bored during my vacation, or it was a boring movie. So go ahead and practice some of those on your own. If you'd like to leave your sentences in the comments, that would be great. So talk about an emotional time in your life. And here are some ideas, but you can choose your own. So an interesting trip or vacation, an embarrassing mistake, or a satisfying meal. And as you were talking about that experience, be sure to use both ing or ed adjectives. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Please like, subscribe, share, leave comments, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.